We're going to look at how to draw our bookshelf in both Sketchup and then eventually bringing it over to VCarve Pro. Sketchup is where we're going to start, and Sketchup's where we're going to do our 3D modeling. And we can use lots of different programs for this. I don't have many others on these laptop computers, so we're going to use Sketchup, and it's a pretty straightforward program. I want to show you how to get to, one, the plans, so we know our dimensions, and two, how to log into Sketchup. So this bookshelf packet link here, if I click this, brings me to all the dimensions that we're going to need. And then I want to go down here. This says Sketchup Nightstand. I'm going to change it to say Sketchup Bookshelf. And when I click on this, you're going to see at the very top the log into Sketchup app by clicking here. We're going to do all of our drawing on the Sketchup app. We're not going to do the desktop version of Sketchup. Very similar, so if you're more comfortable with the desktop version, you can feel free to try to use it. But we are going to be using the app for these tutorial videos. These videos will change and be for the bookshelf. The nightstand videos are pretty similar. You'll probably be able to watch those and build this, but this way we'll have all the accurate information for you. So I'm going to click in by logging here. I'm going to say start modeling. Now I've logged in recently to SketchUp, and so it's not going to ask me all my login information, but you will have to push that login information in. Sign in with Google, use your school email address, make sure that you follow those steps, and I'm actually going to sign out because I am logged into my business's SketchUp, and I want to get back to here. So you're going to see this process: sign in with Google, wayzataschools.org. There we go. And now I want to create a new one, and I want to use the architectural or fractional inches template. So I'm going to click here. These are other projects that I've worked on in the past. That's kind of a cool feature. Share links with your friends and colleagues so we can be on each other's drawings by clicking that button. You can keep the guy here. Don't delete the guy for now. This gives you some scale, and you're able to see, am I drawing this thing at approximately the right height? But we will delete him after we get drawing a little bit so that we don't CNC route him. All right, our buttons over here are going to get us started with drawing, and we're going to start with the case pieces. And actually, we're just going to draw the pieces that we want to cut out on the router. We're not going to draw the pieces that we don't want to cut out. So we don't need to make the face frame or the top or the back on here. Those we're going to cut out with other tools. So I'm going to start by clicking on the rectangle tool, and I'm going to click once to place the drawing, and I'm just going to draw what I think looks like the bottom corner of my side. The dimensions are all wrong. If I'm looking in the bottom corner, I can see that's 10 by 120 inches, but that's okay. So I click to place it, and my very next thing that I have to do is I have to type in the dimensions that I want to keep. So I want this to be 0.75 thick by 10 inches. So you can see in the bottom right corner, 0.75 comma 10. I hit enter, and that's small. So I'm going to use the scroll wheel on my mouse to zoom into it. And I'm looking at the hard copy of the plans. I could be toggling back and forth right here. What I'm drawing is this right here. So I'm going to come back here, and I can see that this is 23 inches tall. Now I got to find it. I'm going to use the push-pull tool, let go, and type in 23 inches, and now I get my side. Now I'm going to put some of the details on here, and I only have to do this once because I'm going to copy my left side to my right side. But I see I've got a dado down here, and a rabbit here, and another rabbit up there. I'm going to draw this back rabbit first. To do the back rabbit, I use this tape measure tool. I click on the back edge. I can pull it and drop it anywhere because I will add my dimensions now. My dado is going to be 1/4 inch deep. Then I can use the rectangle or the pencil, doesn't matter. I'm going to go up here to the top. Whoops, snap to the wrong place, so I hit escape to undo that snap. I'm going to come all the way down here, and then I'm going to use that push-pull tool, and I'm going to push this in 0.375, 3/8 of an inch. So eventually, and if you don't understand this, that's okay. That's where the back of my project is going to slide into my project. Now I want to do these two dados. Okay, so we can see this dado is up 2 1/4. It's 3/4 thick, and this one's 3/4 thick on the top. So I'm going to use my tape measure tool again. These are just guidelines. They're helpful. My first measurement is 2.25 or 2 1/4. My dado is going to be 0.75 thick. And this top one is going to be 0.75 thick as well. Now I'm going to make these lines permanent by taking a rectangle and drawing on top of it. Be careful that you snap to this corner, not inside of here. If you click on your middle mouse button, it is the pan tool, and it pans around your project. Now I hit the push-pull, and I'm going to push these in 0.25. So all dados are 1/4 inch deep. And I like to get rid of these guidelines and draw a line around them and hit delete. If they don't bother you, you can keep them, but I think they get a little bit distracting. So if I'm looking here, I now have all of these in. Now I'm going to start with these line bores. These line bores are going to get drilled by the CNC router, and so we got to put them in a very specific place. If you forget to do the line bores, that's okay. We also have the opportunity to do them with a jig that I've got that works with a drill. But since we're going to have the CNC router, we might as well use them. We see it's 5 1/4 up, 1.5 inches in from the edge, and then they're 2 inches apart. So I'll take this 5.25, and then they are 2 inches up. Oops. And I'm not going to be super picky how far up you go. We're probably not going to put a bookshelf right at the top of our cabinet. So 4 or 5, 6 lines. If you want to put more in, that's okay. These go in 1.5. So now I know where the intersection is going to be for all of those holes. I'm going to come over here, click on the rectangle, but I'm going to hit the circle. We want these holes to have a diameter of 1/4 inch. And it's really not that critical, the size of the hole, because our CNC router references everything off the center of the hole. So I need to make sure I'm centered. Notice the radius down in the right corner. I can click to place it. Now I get to determine its radius. So if it's a 1/4 inch diameter, the radius is 0.125. So I'm just going to say 0.125. And there is a faster way to do this. If I go back to the pointer tool and I select just the hole, I can hit Control-C and Control-V. And if I zoom in far enough, the trouble there is it's not wanting to snap to the center of the circle. So I usually will spend more time messing around with that. Since I'm just doing a few holes, I'm just going to draw them all. Oops, didn't get the intersection. Okay, so I've got all the holes there. Now I'm going to take and erase these guidelines, and I can see the holes are staying. Now I want these holes to be deep. So I want to hover over the hole. You can see the dots there. And I want those to be 0.375 inches deep. So 3/8 of an inch deep. Now it's possible you could grab this and pull it out instead of in. If you screw something up, you can just hit the undo button. That side's looking pretty done. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to turn this into a component. That means it's not able to be edited, but the CNC router can recognize it. So I triple click until it turns all blue, and then I right click, say make a component. I'm going to call it a side. Perfect. Now I need to make the other side. So if I look, let's go to my plans. I'm looking in the overall width of the project. If I look at my face frame, the distance from here to here is 10. These are going to be 2 inches thick. So the overall width of my project is 14 inches. So I can take this guy and I'm going to make a line over at 14 inches. And I'm going to just make a mark right off the front edge there. So now watch this. You'll like this. I'm going to click my component. I'm going to hit the move tool. And watch that 4-way arrow. I'm going to hit the control button. Whoops-a-daisy. And when I hit the control button, there's a plus that shows up. So when I grab this corner, what it does, it just makes another one of them. I want to make sure I grab the corner. So I got the corner grabbed. I'm going to snap it right to that intersection. So we've got the pieces, but they're the wrong way. So you right click on here and you say flip along, components red, and now they mirror each other. And it's interesting, whatever I do to this will also happen here. We probably won't have to play with that, but it's kind of helpful to see that. So we're almost done here, but we got to add in these shelves. So this bottom shelf here, this adjustable shelf, and these stringers. So I see this bottom shelf is 13 inches long, dado to dado. So I'll come back. And because this is a component, when I draw now, oops-a-daisy, when I draw a rectangle, it's not being added to this, it's just sitting on top of this. So I draw a rectangle there, and now I can pull out, boom, and go all the way over to this side. Kind of cool. But I want to make that a component right away. If you don't make things components, they get merged together. And then up top, I've got these stringers that are 2 inches. I go from there to there. Pull this guy out. I'm not liking, I can't see exactly where I'm snapping that to, so I'm going to get a little closer to it. Boom. Make this guy a component. And then I can use the move tool, hit control, pull it back here and line it up with the rabbit. And then we've got all of our case pieces drawn in SketchUp.